Hi, welcome to another edition of Business Bites. My name is David Tighe, the Managing Director of Bauer Media here in Northern Ireland. And each week we catch up with an interesting guest and we get some insight and opinion. This week, my guest is Dr. Eugene McGuckin, who is the Program Manager for Go For It. Eugene, welcome to Business Bites.
Good morning, David, and thanks very much for the invitation.
Well, it's our pleasure. We can't wait to find out about what you're doing and what the Go For It program is all about. So just tell us a little bit about Go For It. What is it and how would we find it?
Okay, so Go For It is the brand name for the business start intervention which the 11 councils deliver in Northern Ireland. So anyone thinking of starting a new business, if they contact the Go For It helpline or they go through the website, then they'll get help to produce a business plan, which is the output from the program. And as I said, that's an 11 council intervention, and it's the main business start intervention across Northern Ireland for startups.
Very good. And just a small point, is this free or is there a charge for what happens?
So it's funded by councils and by, at the moment, European regional funds. So Europe is still paying for contributing to it, but from a client or a participant, it's free of charge. There's no cost whatsoever.
Well, that's fantastic. So so let's just put myself in that position. I've been sitting there driving the car, perhaps thinking about this great scheme, this great idea, but not quite knowing what to do about it. So what happens when I give you or the team at Go For It a call? What happens next?
Okay, so on that one, you can, as you said, you can either phone the telephone number or you can go onto the website goforitni.com. Once you do that, effectively there is a call center will take all the details for the individual name and stuff like that, obviously not confidential information. They will then offer up an appointment either face-to-face or virtually through Zoom or Teams or whatever, FaceTime, whatever the person feels comfortable. And that then allows and to be told that there will be a business advisor contacting them within 5 days. So within that 5 days, a business advisor will contact the individual and arrange an appointment. And then at that initial assessment meeting, that'll go through the details of what the business concept is, what the pros and cons are of it, and then to see whether it's the right thing for the client to move forward to get an individual mentoring with that business advisor, and then completion of a business plan, as I mentioned earlier on, as the output from the program.
Very good. So, I mean, it sounds like a really good service. And you know, what are the common mistakes or the common errors when it comes to people's ideas when it comes to the business plan? What do you see?
Yeah, it's a hard one, and without being overly critical about it, I think the positive would be a lot of people will see it as an easy step to move into self-employment. So obviously, it's not just having the light bulb moment in their house at night, or as you say, when they're driving home. It gives them an opportunity to actually think, okay, there's 5 or 6 critical things in producing a business plan. So for example, you know, who are my clients, which are basically basic market research. What am I selling? How much am I selling for? How am I going to promote the product or myself as a service, etc.? What's my estimated sales? And then, you know, is the business viable? Now that sounds all very, very heavy, which I suppose for someone who's maybe not, you know, happy on financials, etc. But that's the role of the business advisor, is really to mentor and handhold the individual. And I think, to answer your question in terms of the big ones, a lot of people don't realize that's so much involved in it. And then there's a time commitment. It probably takes between 6 or 8 to 10 hours of, you know, concentrated effort to produce that business plan in collaboration with the advisor. That could be over a period of 4 to 6 weeks. So it's not so much the pitfall is that the idea may not be good or whatever. It's actually the amount of effort that an individual needs to put into it. So that probably is one of the big pitfalls. And then the positives, I said, if someone does go on and finishes their plan, they're left with a good idea of what's actually involved. Typically, they'll end up with, a document that's, 12, 13, 14 pages of narrative and content and a set of financials which they understand. Then they can look and see whether is premises applicable, do they need premises at all, or do they need to go, are the next steps to go and get funding for the potential business?
Yeah, you mentioned funding. So, I've had a great idea, and you've proven the concept in the business plan, but there's a small problem. I haven't got the money. So, can you help secure the funding, or what advice would you give to someone who's looking to try and get that?
I would say two bits. The first bit I would say is don't jump straight to the funding as the panacea to make the business work. I think the compilation of a business plan allows someone to actually challenge both their strengths and their weaknesses in terms of having a great idea, but they might be weak on marketing, etc. But you're quite correct in that the single biggest issue after, say, completion of a business plan is the funding. So there are a number of routes after that. I mean, so for example, we would have a variety of organisations that the likes of Enterprise Northern Ireland have loan funds, unsecured loan funds. We can point, one of their things is that you must have a business plan so they can review that. Also, the business plan can actually be used for more traditional routes, whether it be a bank, less so at the moment, credit unions and other ones. So that's the funding routes. And those are the typical routes for go for it clients, where you would typically have one man, one woman starting off the business and building it. Some of those businesses will grow over a number of years, but typically those are the types of clients that we would be dealing with in the Go For It program.
And I imagine having, whilst not a guarantee, but certainly having interacted with the Go For It program will be a good mark, especially if it's been considered by the business funders community. So you must have come across quite a lot of ideas, and can you share any success stories with us? Any great success stories?
Yeah. Again, probably answer it two ways. I mean, the massive success stories. So I mentioned that 80-90% of the clients will be, people moving into self-employment, holistic therapies, beauty salons, gardeners, and absolutely, that's the lifebone of Northern Ireland businesses. That's the small businesses that keep Northern Ireland going. Then you'll find ones that go on and get additional support and grow, in some cases exponentially. So like I can think of a blind manufacturer that I know well in the Lisburn area, which is now a multi-million-pound organization. Okay, that's been over many years now, but last time I looked, they were turning over 40 or 50 million. But the more likely success stories are those small businesses where somebody is, really looking to move into self-employed, maybe a hairdresser, maybe of that type of businesses I described earlier on. And then there's some between those two extremes where people will actually go and look for other help. Well, like a tacky business, that someone might grow a tacky business, they might go to venture capitalists or Halo or someone like that. But again, we can help support them and signpost them to the appropriate direction, which I think is the important thing from the program.
Yeah, well, the program seems to be going from strength to strength, and if we call up looking for a business plan, are we likely to bump into you, Eugene, or are you running the whole show?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm running the whole show, but it's I mean, typically we have partner Enterprise Northern Ireland is our delivery partner for the business plans, with the council obviously the main support there. So there's about 70 business advisors in Northern Ireland. We have a call centre, Teleperformance in Bangor, who do an excellent job, and our market research is managed through Derry and Strabane District Council. So I'd love to claim all the praise for it, but no, all of those need to be involved. Maybe worth giving a size to what goes on there, because I mean, it is a fairly well, it's been an ongoing program. It's been going for now 10 or 15 years through a number of iterations, and is due to be refreshed. But to size it, there's typically, but rough numbers, 5,000 inquiries come into the Go For It program in Northern Ireland each year. That leads to about 4,000 initial meetings and about 3,000 business plans, give or take change. that'll lead to 1,600 new businesses being created each year. And that's been running bar 2020 COVID year, obviously, but that is pretty much, it's very much a thing. So it's a fairly large intervention. The councils are working on doing a major refresh and redesign it and making it better, which of course they should do. But it is a significant intervention.
Well, Dr. Eugene McGuckin, Program Manager at Go For It, all the contact details are at the end of this discussion. Thank you for the great work that you and the team are doing, and best of luck and good luck into the future.
My pleasure to speak to you, David, and the team. Thanks again.